Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, and welcome to New Life Live. What a great day this is. I'll tell you what it is. It's the 25th of February, and tonight I'll be performing the little ceremony, wedding ceremony for my daughter Madeline and Tim. Now, they got married in 2019, but COVID kept pushing back the celebration, the wedding thing. It's tonight, and boy, am I excited about that. They're a great couple. Oh, my goodness. You know, when they got married, and by the way, I'm talking to Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Alice Benton.
And we love hearing about the wedding.
Yeah, I said, you know, Madeline, when people get married, sometimes things, you know, aren't what you expect, and, you know, I want you to feel free to, you know, we can talk about that. You know, it happens all the time. She goes, hey, Dad, it's better. How about that? Better than she expected. So he's my guy, I tell you. So anyway, pray for us, pray for them, but I'm sure grateful to have just this incredible daughter and son-in-law. We'll be celebrating that. And if you don't have anything to celebrate because, man, did things ever not work out the way you thought they would, we can help you with that. Marriage Intensive is in July in Washington, D.C. We would love to see you there. Lives change when people come to the Marriage Intensive. So please, you know, it's like, I forget if it was Albert Einstein or Frankenstein, but one of them said that when you think you've tried everything, just know this, you haven't. There's still things that can be done. But here's what we can do. We can go right to the calls. We don't need to mess around on this program. And first caller I want to go to is Stan from Norfolk, Virginia. And as soon as that call screener frees old Stan up, here we go. Stan, how you doing? What's going on in your life today?
I'm dealing with a lot. My situation is, try to make it as short and sweet as possible, but I got introduced to my wife from a friend, and in 6 months I was like, you know, don't want to live this life of being together and not being married. So I said, okay, in 6 months, we got married, and I didn't pay attention to some of the things that were being done, because right before we got married, she goes, you wanted this. And I'm like, so I overlooked it, you know. I'm like, okay. So make a long story short, I'm working 2 jobs. We got a house together.
Yeah.
And so I'm working these 2 jobs, and because it's all about bills. He kept telling me, we got all these bills and this and that and the other. So I'm paying the mortgage. I'm paying all the utilities. And my job I was working, you know, part-time Home Depot. So I'm getting off at like sometimes 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, got to get up and go to another job. So on the weekends, I would like try to spend quality time as a husband and wife should, but it was always pushing me away. Well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. And, you know, like just having a massage, it was like, I'd rather go and pay for you to have one than for me to do it. And, you know, so I started feeling neglected, which, you know, and so as I'm working, and I'm retired Navy, and, you know, so I'm blessed in many ways. So I'm working.
All right, hold on. We're going to go to a break. We'll hear after this.
I'm about 100 pounds overweight. I'm 30 years old, and I'm just really discouraged. I'm scared. I don't want to feel again.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. If you want to live free of obsessions and compulsions in your eating habits, New Life's Lose It for Life Extensive can help. The Extensive features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 19th, plus 5 weeks of aftercare that include a weekly group session led by your credentialed New Life Network counselor, 5 on-demand training sessions from Steve Arterburn and fitness expert Michelle Spadafora, 3 30-minute private coaching sessions from a nutrition and fitness coach, the Lose It for Life book and workbook, and exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy life, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
All right, so, well, we're here talking with Stan, and Stan, you've described a miserable situation. You were talking about working, and so what happened as a result of all this work that you were doing?
So as a result of it, me trying to fight for affection and everything, and she's pushing me back and pushing me aside, and I even went to counseling to try to resolve the issue, and it was like, she would tell me, "Oh, I have my voice back now," and I'm like, "Why would you get your voice back with me? I've done nothing to you." But the relationship that you were in before, the guy beat you, left you on the side of the road like you was trash, and put you in the hospital. I'm like, but I'm here being, trying to show you that I love you. And I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying she's perfect. So make a long story short, it got to a point where I actually had an affair. And it wasn't something I was looking forward to doing, but I'm like, why doesn't my wife love me and be affectionate toward me? All she wants me to do is just work. And even when I'm at home, you want me to work even more.
Okay, so you had an affair, and we hear that, and it's a horrible situation. What's the purpose of the call to us? How do you think we best could help you today?
I just want to know, basically, about love, because, for New Year's Eve, she text me rather than call me and say, "Well, I'm not coming back home. This is a courtesy. I'm safe." I haven't seen her since. So I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. Love is something that you work at. If you love somebody, you fight for it. You don't just abandon the person. You talk about it. And for me, I don't understand that mental capability of just saying, "Okay, I'm done and I'm not coming home."
But you had an affair.
Yes.
Right? So both of you contributed to the problem that you had, but she did not choose for you to have an affair.
Right.
You're going to have to at some point own up that
and I do.
There were a lot of other things you could have done, given how bad it was, so that you wouldn't fall into an affair. And just calling to ask about love, I can tell you what love is, but that's not going to help you one bit. So I want both Jill and Alice to give you some perspective, some steps, advice, so that things might be able to get better for you and maybe for both of you.
Stan, I acknowledge, Stan, that you do own up, and I heard that. And I'm going to gently challenge you that you own up slowly. And you own up with a lot of preparation that kind of justifies and minimizes the choice that you made to have the affair. But I can understand that, because you were put in an unfair position. I think that your wife saw an image of her perpetrator when she saw you. She was not sufficiently healed before she went into relationship with you. So that abusive man overshadowed your relationship. And it was almost as if you couldn't win with your wife, no matter what you did, because of the damage that he did. But it's possible that although that was so unfair, you allowed that to justify the choice of the affair partner. So when you own up to it, as you did in this call, I hear the intellectual owning up, but I don't hear as much godly sorrow as your wife would need to hear to be drawn back in to have hope for the relationship. Now what I'm saying is pretty hard to receive. Can you tell me how you're doing hearing it?
No. I fully accept it. I mean, we got baptized together, everything. And even before I went to counseling, I reached out to the pastor to talk to him, and you know, I went to her to let her know. And when I did that, she was like, well, I'm not ever going back to that church again. And this, and I'm just, I didn't understand before, even before this happened. I'm doing everything to try to show her that I'm here for you. I will move a mountain for you. But it made me feel like, yeah, I could tear down a mountain for you, but you'll dig a hole for me to fall in. And so
But it wasn't really true. You were telling yourself that, but it wasn't really true. Because you didn't do enough to stay faithful in the marriage. And that was your number one thing, but you kind of became the nightmare.
She definitely is fighting the wrong person, Stan.
Yeah.
But then you handed her the validation that she needed to be wary of you. Mm-hmm. Right? So even though it was about the other guy, now it's also about you. And unfortunately, you're lumped in with all men. And her getting a voice, she's pushing against the abuse. So it's like you're the representation of men who have hurt her. And that's unfair. Right. That's a totally unfair position to be in. But the affair didn't help you. And as the two of them are saying, there was some justification and looking at, and even a bit in this call, Stan, looking at your unmet needs. Instead of, wow, my wife is really hurting. I need to find a way to connect with her heart and to see her hurt and to validate her pain from the past and to ask what I can do to come alongside her and to not reinforce her past pain.
And Stan, as you ask about love, even though your wife has left, because she is still your wife and you have this covenant with her, and because you're a believer, I think you know that now is the time to actually double down on your own individual work and on your connection with other men who are pursuing sanctification so that you can prove her wrong. You can prove yourself to be the dedicated husband you set out to be originally.
Right. And I'm, like I said, I own up to it. There was no reason to do it. I know Satan got involved in a lot of things, and I'm dealing with all of that. And there were times when my wife would even jump up in my face and attack me.
Yeah.
Not just verbally.
But here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing.
We believe you.
But here's the thing. When you go outside of the marriage, then
there's no excuse.
Everything changes.
Yeah, no matter how horrible she is.
Yeah. And so if she got up in your face and then you said, so that's when I started seeing a counselor to help me deal with that, versus I started enjoying conversations with people at work that were of the opposite sex more than I ever had before. So I'm going to give you a formula, and I don't know if it's anything you're even interested in. But the first thing that you have to do, is you have to be willing, absolutely willing, to get help for you and what it is that led to the affair. Whether you guys were baptized together, all that stuff, you have to do. Like if I were you, I would be in every man's battle next month, because that isn't talking, it's doing something to help you restore sexual integrity. I would be seeing if she would go to our marriage intensive, because that has helped people in worse shape than you are. I would quit talking about the bad stuff she did and start talking about how you responded in a way that led to failure in the marriage, failure in sexual integrity. Because when you start talking like that, now the humility that requires that, that leads to the healing of your soul. It leads to you being able to be in a really good relationship. But I got to tell you, any trying to justify what you did because she was so bad, you're stuck. Doesn't matter what she does. You're stuck. It's not going to get better. You're going to have to surrender the story of how bad she was and accept responsibility to become a better man. And you can do that. You really can. I'm going to send you Every Man's Marriage. I love this book. I think it'll give you some ideas on how a marriage can work much differently and better. And I also will send you Healing is a Choice. All right, 1-800-229-3000, 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you're interested in anything that we've got going, especially our intensives such as Lose It for Life and Restore, Every Man's Battle, and our just the marriage intensive is just so fantastic. All right, let's go. How about we talk with Davita from Louisville, Kentucky. Watches on the YouTube channel. Hi there. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, fine.
Well, what is going on in your personal life today?
Well, this is a long time story. I've actually called in twice about it. And my son has been married 17 years to the same wife and had 3 children. We do not get to see the children or interact with them, and it's been a lot worse with COVID.
Why don't you get to see them or interact with them?
Their mother is I believe that she had Hashimoto's when she was young, and she has some type of psychological disorder that's preventing her from allowing to see them or interact with them. Some examples of this would be that she comes to when we have dinners before COVID. Now she won't go anywhere.
No, but why isn't your son? Why isn't your son arranging for the children to see their grandparents?
He gives in to her. He says, I can't do anything about it.
And Davita, if we asked her why she wants to keep the grandkids away from you, what would she say? Even if you don't believe it, what would she say? Or if she's wrong?
When would you have the opportunity to ask her something like that? I mean,
we're just talking hypothetically. If you had to guess what her answer would be to me, what would you guess?
I think she would just skirt the issue and say, I don't know what you're talking about, probably.
Okay, but
she's a teacher. She is a teacher, and she's not currently working, but
so if they're
she's an educated person.
Davita, if she or your son identified something that they think is negative about you and your husband, what do you think they would say?
Nothing.
Well,
There's no reason.
Davida, I'm a very imperfect mom. And there's a lot about me that my kids would complain about. I'm irritable, I'm grouchy, I work too much, I get too anxious. There's a lot about me that's wrong. What is something about you that's an imperfection?
I am sensitive, I would say. Probably sensitive.
Okay.
I'm really sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm aware of, and I'm friendly with kids, and I'm not overly so, but I can't think of anything.
I'm proud of you.
Grandchildren, I have two.
I'm proud of you for identifying that. We're coming to the break, Davida, and when we come back, we'll be able to help you with this.
We'll be back after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and we are talking with one of those very sad situations where grandparents not allowed to see the grandkids. Jill, let's start with you. What are you thinking?
And Davida, I'm wondering how long this has been. Was it prior to COVID?
Yes, they've been married 17 years, and their oldest child is 16. Oh. So it started when she was a baby. I touched her face, and she said, "Oh no, she'll get germs."
Okay. So her germ phobia has been early on, and her need to maybe protect and isolate.
And those reactions have probably been deeply hurtful to you, Davida. Have you tended to pull back in your hurt by the comments she's made?
It's not comments that she's made, just the isolation. When she comes here for a meal with the family, she sits on the couch with her 3 kids right by her. Or she goes to a restaurant. She does the same thing in the room that we're in. She keeps them right by her.
Okay, so here's what you've proven to us. Okay. You've proven that she is deeply troubled.
She's fearful.
There is nothing that we can do to get her untroubled. But your husband is the one that you're going to need to encourage, your husband and you to encourage, to influence, to see what he could do if he worked through whatever it is that is allowing this to take place, because it's not healthy for you, the kids, him, no one. But he is the one that sees it but isn't doing anything.
Are you talking about my son, her husband?
Yeah.
Because my husband is in early dementia. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about her husband, your son. He is the one that has the most potential for you to be able to see your grandkids.
Right. And I think he's a good place to start, Davida, because it seems as though, and now you've given us a little more, but some increased awareness would be really good and helpful. Certainly with someone who is germophobic, she's fearful and she's protective, right? And sometimes when people are phobic in one area, they can be in other areas as well. And I'm wondering if she even has some social phobia, and so she keeps the kids around her for her protection as well as theirs. And in a situation like that, if you have a son that is non-confrontational and just wants to keep the peace, then he's going to kind of jump through all kinds of hoops to support her, and unfortunately it perpetuates the germ phobia. But I do think starting with him and asking him what you could do differently, how you may have been insensitive to her and her fears. You realize she has fears. And the sadness that you feel in not having a greater relationship with the grandkids. And, is there something you could do differently? And
Davida, I know when I feel rejection, it can lead to me practically giving up on a relationship because I am so hurt by the other person pulling away from me. You have the courage to keep trying at this. So, woman, you have a courage that I don't always have. But when we can bravely re-enter and we can lead with a humility of, hey, I know I'm a sensitive mom, and maybe that's added to some of the distance between us. And if there's something else, I can hear about it too, because I want to do what I can to correct this and to reconnect with all of you. That can lower the defenses of a son or a daughter-in-law to open the conversation in that way.
Well, and even to say, I want to learn how to be a better mother-in-law to your wife, right? How can I connect with her heart? I feel like there's distance between us, and I really want to mend that.
And I think you need a heart-to-heart talk with him. Sometimes boys don't want moms involved, and they use the wife as the excuse. And boy, is she easy to use as an excuse. And when the question comes up, why hasn't the son done something about this? Then you're able to say, well, she's in control or whatever. But you really ought to see what it is. I mean, if he really loved you like crazy and believed in the positive influence that you could have on the kids, he might be fighting a little harder. So asking him, hey, be upfront with me. Tell me, why isn't this changing? Because I just, it's one of these things where the kids almost get trained to never leave home because mom has to have them around for her own protection. Glad you called. Really glad that you called. I've got a copy of Jim Burns' book, Doing Life with Our Adult Children. Maybe that will help you. I hope so. I'll send you, I'll send you The Soul of a Hero to give to your son. Because we need heroes, not the kind that just are always looking for somebody desperate to rescue, but heroes that are willing to show God's love, even in the most difficult of situations. I'll get that to you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need help or you can help us. Same number. We'd love to talk with you. We have wonderful people there in Dallas that are on the phones. Give us a call. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll take a break and come right back for more right after this.
I've been struggling with a porn addiction for the last 20 years.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. They're just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. The Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
I'm 10 years out. It's really changed my whole life with my whole family.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop. Now the workshop is coming to Dallas March 5th to the 6th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
The tools that you guys gave me really has changed me essentially in every way. I'm just so much more of a man that God wanted me to be.
1-800-NEWLIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the Life Recovery Bible personal size, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, the New Life Journal, a New Life pen and highlighter, and a New Life zipper tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and before I go to Susan, Larry Sonnenberg's in the studio. Larry, what do you have for us today?
Hey, Steve. Well, Every Man's Battle isn't too far away, just another week here coming up. And I want to read something that a man wrote here recently coming to our workshop.
All right.
This weekend started as a group of strangers sitting in a room. By day 3, I feel like I have a band of brothers surrounding me. I came here with a lot of shame and with a lot of baggage that for a majority of my life I kept pushed way down in my heart. This weekend taught me that I'm not alone, and that by bringing past hurt and struggles into the light, there is so much freedom to be had. One of the lies of the enemy is that I'm unredeemable and that I should just deal with my struggles on my own. This weekend further affirmed the importance of brotherhood and community. And that kind of is the real thing. Mm-hmm. Every man's battle. Guys try to isolate too much because they're full of shame and confusion and hurt, wondering why God doesn't take it away from them. And you get in the community and you get some tools, life will be different forever. Holy Spirit honors your vulnerability, your willingness to talk and share, and commit to the process of what you're being taught. So guys, this is your chance. Don't miss it. Come to this workshop. We're going to be in Dallas, Texas.
No, it really is such a grace-filled, shame-free weekend of connection with other guys. Then you didn't even know you could connect with other guys. And you just have to come and let us do what we do. Come not wanting to be there, come angry, come however it is that you need to come, and we'll help you, because we've been doing this so long, and a lot of people are there at gunpoint or whatever it is, and we take that, and then we are able to work with it. Some great guys, and J.J. West is doing the presenting, and then we have these wonderful therapists working in these groups, and it is powerful. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
A lot of guys come because their wives told them they had to come, or they're done. Come anyway. If you come in that spirit and that mood, you'll be incredibly surprised that on Sunday you're going to feel like a different man.
And if you're a woman, and some counselors said, well, he really needs to be ready to go, it just isn't true. We understand the resistance. Get him there. We'll take it from there.
And folks, if you can support us in these ventures that we're doing, all the workshops, coordinating counselors for you, the resources we have, this radio program, we need support. It's donation supported. Without donations, this program doesn't exist and everything around it doesn't. So we really would appreciate your help.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's the number. If you can help us, we would love for you to be part of our giving family. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Let's go to Susan. She is calling from Chicago, and we're glad that she is. Hi, Susan. How are you today?
I'm excited to talk to you guys because you're brilliant. I listen to you every day. I'm a New Life Club member, and I can't wait to hear your answer.
Okay. Well, what's going on?
Well, my question, first of all, because I know you like that, is do you have or do you recommend ever getting a Christian negotiator involved in a family dispute? And then I can give you some background and not take too long to do it. Okay?
Well, the answer, of course, is yes, we do recommend that. And but what is the stuff that's going on that might need a family negotiator?
Okay, so we have two sons. My husband is very involved in this. They're about the same age, and they've always gotten along really well. I'm going to name them B and A just to make it easier. So B decided not to go to college and become an entrepreneur. A went to a really good college and excelled. Then B became very successful and started a business, and A, who had a full-time job, said, I'd like to do the same thing. So B said, no, I want to be independent, but you can kind of do, your own thing, similar. And so A went off and did his own thing, but he copied with a group of 4 other guys, basically what our other son was doing. And to the point where even when our son A was working full-time with another job, part of his group wasn't working, and they plagiarized off the website even about his product. And so when B found out, he was just very sad, and he said, I can't trust you. You need to stop it. So then A did liquidate it. He lost all of his friends, and he still wanted to be brothers again. But in the process, this is the last part, A was very repentant and all that. But in the meantime, then A has started another job similar. And he did pay back he's working on paying back the money, and it's going to charity because they really don't need the money. They're giving it to charity. This is the last part. So B has requested, because it's in the same industry, do not come to these events for 2 years, and then we will be equal. Because when you're in my space, I can't trust you. So what should we do?
Well, what I don't understand that you have to do anything. It should be between them.
And they do have a plan, right? Is A willing to not compete for 2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he's not willing.
Oh, he's not willing.
Because he quit his full-time. No, he quit his full-time job to be in the same industry and to create his own product. And B says, you can't be in my space because it's a new industry, and he's very well known, and he doesn't want his brothers right now. He doesn't trust them, and he says, if you're in my own space, it's a small community, and how can I trust you that you won't do this again? So B says, absolutely not. For 2 years, you cannot be in this space, and we're not even doing Christmas together. I mean, we have a very small family. My husband is just ready. He makes notes. He's on our phone calls, and nothing is resolved. And so I don't know what we're going to do. So wanted to ask you guys.
Well, I would try to, I would be talking with the one who is the offender, and I would be talking with him, if I was your husband, about, when you go to make something right, you have to be willing to go the full distance to make it right. And what you had in mind that would make it right, it wasn't quite enough. So here your brother is saying 2 years. Now, while I was having that conversation, I'd be talking with the other brothers saying, your brother was wrong. He saw that. He liquidated, and he thought that was going to be enough to make it right, but it wasn't. I'm just wondering if you could compromise and rather than this 2-year prohibition, how about could you just tell him 1 year? Would that make it right enough? Because he really has tried, and this is pretty severe, the 2 years. Could you just lower it to 1? But I would be saying to the brother that offended, if you, and I'd say I'm trying to get him to compromise, but if you're willing to do whatever he settles on, I don't think you'll ever regret it. Doing the right thing, going above and beyond to make it right. You won't regret that. And you will be free of any responsibility here. So that's how I'd be working both guys, and I would support and love both of them, even if the demand is unrealistic, even if the other one thinks it's too demanding. Love them both, care for them both, don't take sides, but try to get them to come together. And if that isn't enough, get somebody else to step in. There's a whole organization that helps people, helps families make peace with each other. And it's really, really good. Yeah. It's called Peacemakers, and they really do a great job. But you pay them, they come in, they have a formula, they go by it, and then it kind of takes it off the shoulders of your husband. Jill, how's your thoughts here?
Steve, I do like your idea, in addition to that, of talking to each of the boys regarding their part. I really wonder why A feels the need to go into the same business.
Yeah, right.
Right. And I do commend him for being willing to take the steps, that, his brother has asked to try to restore the relationship. With B, I would be wondering, because A has done all these things, but it's still not enough. And part of that is there's forgiveness, there's reconciliation, which is about repentance, but then trust takes a long time to rebuild.
Yeah.
And you don't forget. And I guess I'm wondering, what is B really wanting here? What does he need?
It's back to the relationship. They want the relationship, because one did excel over the other one in school, and I think he feels badly because he helped out his brother, and then his brother did something against him. So I think there's a little competition there as well.
Oh, there's all sorts of stuff. You can only do so much, but you want both of them to move a little bit. And if sounds like Dad's doing a good job, but it might not be enough even then.
I'm 433 pounds.
How long have you weighed that much?
I've probably been over 300 at least 15, 20 years.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. The weight we carry on the outside is often a result of the burdens we carry on the inside. If you want to reduce your inner burden, New Life's Lose It for Life Extensive can help. The Extensive features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 19th, plus 5 weeks of aftercare that include a weekly group session led by your credentialed New Life Network counselor, 5 on-demand training sessions from Steve Arterburn and fitness expert Michelle Spadafora, 3 30-minute private coaching sessions from a nutrition and fitness coach, the Lose It for Life book and workbook, and exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy life, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. When you join Club New Life at $30 a month, we send you the Life Recovery Bible, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, a New Life Journal, a New Life pen, which also is a highlighter, and a really cool zippered tote bag, all that just to say thank you for being part of our giving family and joining Club New Life. I think it's the best tote bag we've ever done. Can't wait for summer to get here. I'm taking it to the beach. But right now, we've got time for David. Let's talk with David. Virginia Beach is where he's calling from. Dave, what's going on, my friend? How can we help? David? Are you there? Perhaps David is not there.
Hello?
Oh, there he is.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi, David. How can we help you today?
Sorry. Hey, guys. So I'm just reaching out today. Kind of a long story. I'll make it as brief as I can. First and foremost, I guess how question number one would be, I'm a father of 6. So this is a thinking question.
You're a father of 6. It's hard to hear you. You might be on some kind of speaker thing or earbuds or something. Just hold the phone normally. Okay, father of 6. Yep, we got that.
Yep.
What else?
Father of 6. Terrible with relationships.
Okay.
And find myself in a situation nearing 50 that is all too familiar. After 2 years of being engaged back in the same place. I've been told that I'm angry and easily offended. Neither of those things do I want to be. What do I guess that's...
Have you been married before? Have you been married before? You got 6 kids.
Yes.
How many
4
times? 4 times. You're engaged.
4. Mm-hmm.
Now you're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And you're angry.
No, I'm not.
But she says you're angry. She says you're angry?
Right. Yes.
Why would she say you're angry when you're not angry?
I think, we both carry baggage at this point in our life. But I think that it is maybe her mistaking, and I've tried to explain this to her, mistaking frustration for anger, 2 totally different things. Because I would agree that I'm easily frustrated and or short on patience sometimes.
And David, how did your father display his frustration?
So I didn't have a dad. I never had a father in the house. And I really never had a family unit that showed how things were supposed to work. So I've kind of been trying to figure this out myself as I've gone along through life.
So David, is it possible that you actually mistake anger for frustration? Because you didn't have modeling.
So. I mean,
you may have a broken radar for how your frustration comes across to the people around you, and it is probably more intimidating than you give it credit for. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. I would lend maybe some credence to that, right? I'm certainly open, but I'm pretty open guy, pretty direct.
Well, and part of relationship too is to hear how the other person experiences you. It's not about kind of hair splitting about the words and who's actually right. This isn't about fact finding. If someone experiences you as anger, okay, then that's something to look at, to see how you might come across that way and how that might be disruptive to the relationship moving forward.
Okay, so what happened in those other marriages that it just couldn't work?
One of them was married to another man when we got married. That was my first marriage. And she left with my kids one night while I was at work. In the middle of the night when they were little. I ended up with custody of those two boys and raised them to be some pretty outstanding men. Number two was an alcoholic, and we kind of both brought each other down instead of bringing each other up. Number three, she was very intelligent. Number three, that was kind of my rebound. And that was just a crazy 1 year whirlwind of just trying to be right with God, with somebody that I totally never should have. She's now, I just found out, married for like number 8th time over the last 10 years. It's crazy to me. And then number 4, we had issues as well, communication issues. And a lot of this is all communication issues.
So why are you wanting to marry again, especially somebody that thinks you're angry? You just think you're frustrated. Why would you want to be married after 4 marriages failing? What's the reason for the marrying?
If I had to put a term to it, I'd say probably codependency. But for this particular person, believe me, y'all, I was not looking for a relationship when she and I came into one another's lives. Certainly was nothing like that. But we built a really solid foundation on Christ. We have really, at this point in the last 2 years, we have really, and we don't live together. That's the first time I've not lived together before we were married. I mean, hold down 2 separate residences. We have the same faith foundations. And she's got a heart of God. But she also has her own issues. And those are some of the things that I want her to be able to look at me and say, Robert, like, I see that I need to do X, Y, and Z. Thank you, Robert, for doing.
Let me give you the best advice I think anybody could give you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be giving it to you. Okay.
Amen,
so
brother.
You guys need to get involved and let us help you find this person. You need to be in marriage counseling, which, because you're not married, it's pre-marriage counseling.
Premarital.
But do you know what the headline was? When we do our marriage intensives, one of the most powerful things that people hear is this: your marriage problem started before you ever got married. Now, that's a earth-shattering thing for people to hear, but it just makes so much sense. You guys already have problems, and you're not married yet. So why don't you ask her, how about, rather than wait till we get married to get marriage counseling, why don't we get counseling right now? Why don't we work through this? She says, work through what? Well, I don't think I'm angry. You do. I think I'm just frustrated, and you don't know how to handle frustration. Let's start there. That's what I'd do. I would not marry her. I would not make her your 5th wife until you've been through 6 months of marriage counseling. That's what I recommend to you. And when we do our marriage intensive online, you guys, there's nothing more valuable you could do than that. But please don't do this a 5th time without major premarital work with the person that you've chosen.
Yes,
I'm really
sir.
glad that you called. I'll send you How We Love. I think that's a great book. Hey, thank you, Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Alice Benton, for being here. 2 very wise therapists, counselors, Christian women who know their stuff. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.